Hi. Okay, so I'm going to do a horseshoe spread for you. It's a 7-card spread, and then I did a couple clarification cards at the very end for you. There was a couple cards that actually jumped out that could pertain to different areas in the reading, so I will just get to them as I go, and I'll point out, hey, this card could also go towards this part of the reading. Because each part of the spread means something. The first card is past, then future, present, that sort of thing. So if it, I will just let you know as I go along. And I'm going to try to go through this pretty quick, so if you can, grab a piece of paper, maybe pause the video, grab a piece of paper and a pen so you can jot down notes if you have any questions or concerns about how it went or a particular card, and you could just, that way you don't forget. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. The first card will represent your past or the immediate issues that affect your situation now. So this card that I pulled for you is the Wheel of Fortune, but it's reversed. Reversed cards have multiple meanings. It could mean the actual opposite of what the card means. It could also mean, it could reflect how you should feel about a certain issue, or it could actually mean another person altogether, like a family friend or whatever. It could represent them. So that's what reverse cards, to me, my gut instinct, what I get off of them, and I will explain how I feel about this card. If I'm looking down, it's because what I do is look at the cards, get the general feeling about what I gut instinct, what I feel, and then I go through my tarot books and actually read the actual meaning, and then I make a Mod Podge note list of what it all means to me. So if I'm looking down, that's what I'm doing. The Wheel of Fortune, it talks about fickle fate, turn for worse, blind optimism can lead to failure, changes all around, cycle of life. Okay, so when the cycle of life, those words come up to me, it represents life and death. It's a cycle. It's always turning. There's always life and there's always death. It's inevitable. That's life, basically. You have no control over it. There's a time for death and a time for life. Adjustments. There was a huge adjustment period, and maybe that's what you're going through now, or maybe this might pertain to your friend that lost his son. So I might bounce this card more towards him. I don't know what you were actually looking for, a card reading. I probably should have asked you before I did this, but it's more of a general reading. I didn't know what you wanted, so I just kind of wrote down what I felt. So let me know if any of it makes sense to you. But I think this card represents your friend and how he feels about his son passing and that sort of thing. So there's an element of chance, there's no control, twists and turns, and this card also represents taking responsibility for your own life path. Let me move on to the next card. This will represent your present. The Lover's card, someone looking over. Okay, so this is Cupid, but it's also a cherub or an angel. So I would definitely reflect this as your friend's son. I don't know if he's communicating with you per se or his dad, but he's looking out for him, and I have a feeling that he's also present still in your life. Love, friendship, partnership, helping one another, consider options, life and death is inevitable. Those are the notes that I wrote down for this card. I think more that you are a platonic friend, not so much of a lover, but the sun comes up. And this could also represent your life also. So I don't know if you have See, I do so many readings. I do at least probably 3 to 5 a day, and each reading takes a lot of energy out of me. I don't keep track in my head whose issues are whose. I get kind of scattered when I do readings. So, I have a hard time remembering your personal issues. I know that your friend's son passed away, and that's all pretty much that I remember. But I don't remember if you are seeing somebody, if you are actually in a relationship right now, or if maybe you were looking for a relationship. But that also comes up with the Lovers card. So it's bringing up your present relationship with your loved one. I'm trying to process all of it so I could keep mental notes. I already made my notes on here, but I'm going off of what my gut instincts are telling me as I'm reading. So if I get any more pings or gut feelings, I'll let you know as I go along. The next card that I pulled for you will represent what is helping the situation. Okay, so I wrote down here multiple things for this card. So this card could also mean towards your friend that lost his son. So what is helping him in his situation is not focusing on the present per se, like the issues at hand, but he is a dreamer. This card is a dreamer card. Let me read what I wrote, my notes. Castles in the air, daydreamer, not thinking about death or the issues at hand, but planning for the future, dreaming for the future, creativity. And I also wrote to read my book. So there was something important that I wanted to read to you in my book. So let me pull that out real quick. Let's see. Okay, the key issues with the Seven of Cups: imagination, creativity, daydreams, castles in the air, which I wrote. So I'm going to hold it up so you can see. The Seven of Cups portrays a figure faced with fantastic visions that are emerging from the Seven of Cups, supported by clouds. Amazing operations, which appear as if magic, denote the imaginary world of dreams, and thus signifying creativity. The dove, let me see if I can find the dove. Okay, so the dove, okay, so each little thing right here, each one symbolizes something, and I wrote down that it was important to read what each one represents. So if it makes sense to you, either for your friend, what he's going through, or what you're going through in life, I wanted to point out what each one meant. The dove stands for the spiritual world, which your friend's son passed. So I'm going to make note that that could symbolize him. So that is what he's thinking about. That's heavy on his mind. The wreath represents success. The jewels, right above that, represent wealth. The dragon symbolizes strength. The castle, if you can see right here, castle arising from one cup suggests stability. The snake, symbolizing sexuality. So again, I'm trying to get a feel if this reading is for you or for your friend, and I think it's a mixture of both you guys. So the sexuality card, I'm definitely pointing more towards you. Like, you, again, I don't know what's going on with your relationship right now. I don't know if you're actually looking for a relationship, or if you've had issues with your relationship, but your sexuality comes up that it's a major issue for you. I don't know if you're having difficulty in the bedroom, but it talks about that. And this is what is helping. So this card will represent what's helping. So I'm getting chills thinking about what it could possibly mean. So if you look right here in the center, the veiled figure represents or stands as an image of true self, which is waiting to be discovered. So I know you're focused on expanding your gifts and that sort of thing. So these are all things that need to actually be stable for you to have a healthy spiritual awakening, basically. This card represents or indicates the need to make a choice. There are obvious many possibilities to consider, a wide range of options. Blah, blah, blah. Reading. It's the difficulty this card presents is how to narrow down your options. So I don't know if you or him have an option or a decision to make with your life that will lead you somewhere else, or that is weighing on your plate, but what this card basically is saying is to narrow down your options. Instead of looking at the whole picture, just focus on one or two of these aspects and work on that at one time. Don't get overwhelmed, basically, of all these things on your plate, but only like if you look at a plate of food, you can't shove all of it in at once or you're going to hurt your stomach, basically. You need to take your time eating it and digesting it for a healthier outcome, basically. And instead of focusing on everything that's going on, if you focus on just one or two of these things, it'll be easier for you to either move on or I don't know, it's just healthier for you instead of just being so frustrated about everything that's going on. You just deal with one thing at a time. Excuse me. Okay, so the next card that I will read will represent the obstacles. Okay, so sometimes I can't click with cards. Some cards just don't make sense to me in a reading, but I'm going to read it anyway. Maybe it means something to you. Maybe you could make sense of it. This is one of those cards. So the card that I pulled is the Knight of Cups reversed, and again, reverse cards mean multiple things. So this card reversed, it brings up suspicious people. I don't know if you or your friend has some concerns about what is going on in your lives that you feel like it might be suspicious, or it's not something, it doesn't look as it seems, if that makes sense. Like somebody is being fake, or if maybe issues revolving around his passing, his son's passing, that it looks like somebody was at fault, or you have a gut instinct that somebody was at fault, but there's no way to really prove that it was not an accident, basically. Like there's no way to prove that. Like I know he's in a motorcycle accident. I had done a photo, I think I did a photo reading for you. For the son. I think it was a picture of the son, and I got a picture of him going to school. Yeah, okay, that's coming back to me. So, sorry, I'm trying to think of what. So he was driving his motorcycle, and I think he was, I don't know if you guys have a feeling that that person that ran him off the road did it purposely out of spite, or if she literally did it in an accident. And that's what this card represents to me, is that I don't know if this is the issue that this card comes up, but it talks about a suspicious person. So I don't know if it's this or if there's something else going on in your guys' lives that you're like, I don't know if I could trust that. But that comes up. I'm gonna read some more of my notes. Someone isn't who they appear. Someone is on a quest, moving forward. Issues romantically, looking for a perfect relationship or how to keep yours alive. So again, since this is a multiple reading that I think has to do with your friend and you. I don't think you are romantically involved with him. Maybe you have had those feelings for him, but there's talk about you in your relationship again. So your relationship is coming up again in this card. Now, usually, if you could see in this card, he is literally the knight in shining armor. He is really gallant, proud. He's the guy willing to take care of business, basically. Take care of his wife, take care of his girlfriend, showing up with roses, that sort of thing. It's the perfect soulmate. Whatever you personally have in mind for yourself, this is what this guy represents. So since it's reversed, I have a feeling that you are still kind of looking for that person, that you want that type of person to basically dote on you and take care of you. Not necessarily dote on you, but you're looking for a good love or a good companion that will fit your needs. So I think that's what else that comes up in that card. And that would be, since it's the obstacle to overcome, so I talked about the suspicious person, so that would be a major obstacle to overcome. And then if you're searching for somebody, maybe you can't find that perfect relationship. And that would be, to me, would be a major obstacle. Whew, okay, let's see. Okay, so this is one of the cards that I said that it could fall in different places in the reading. And so I'm going to read this for this one, and then I'm going to flip it over at the very end to tell you how I could... Yeah. Oh, no. There's another card that could jump into this, so I'll find that in the reading and tell you. Okay, so this one is the Five of Swords. I think it was regular, though. It wasn't reversed. Okay, so this card represents an unsettling period. Okay, so this is the attitudes. Now, attitudes to me is your opinion, how you feel, what you feel like you should do, what other people can feel what you should do, or their personal opinion and that sort of thing. What attitudes of others, basically. So it could represent your friends and that sort of thing. So the Five of Swords, unsettling period in life. A friend may need your support. Be careful not to create a tense atmosphere, withdrawal after conflict or a major event. So this card, to me, this is a huge battle scene, and this guy is victorious. These two people are obviously not victorious. They're walking away in shame. There's light and dark, and yeah, it seems happy and proud, but these people need support. So I'm going to represent this as your friend needing your support and helping him learn how to accept what happened to his son and that sort of thing. After a major event. So yeah, a major event. That is a major event. So the next card that I pulled that it kind of stood out that could come towards this same attitude. So let me flip it over. It's the Page of Pentacles. So this is the attitudes of others. Okay, so wealth doesn't buy happiness. Be careful squandering money. Not paying attention to where you put your money. Watch every penny. New beginnings or major change. I want you to go ahead and ask your friend if he's seeing pennies or feathers or doves, birds. Pennies, quote unquote, pennies from heaven. To me, pennies from heaven, if I find a penny on the ground, to me, or a feather, to me, in my heart, I feel like it's somebody in the spirit world that's basically saying hi. So they're saying hello. And I want you to go ahead, if you don't personally see these things, if you aren't, if you're not trying to communicate with somebody that has passed, but maybe your friend has, maybe you or him has been seeing pennies or feathers or birds, and you're like, why do I keep seeing pennies everywhere? I just wanted to bring it up with this card. That is what could help you or him. If you're trying to communicate and get validation that your spirits are communicating with you, that maybe you don't know if they're hearing you or what have you, that is validation for you. I want you to know that you could tell your friend, your friend's son, if his dad is trying to communicate to him and just say, hi son, or whatever, he actually hears him. And those pennies that he's seeing and the feathers or whatever maybe he is or maybe he isn't seeing, but that would represent him just saying, hi dad. So I want you to let him know. That could also represent opportunities for future growth, new beginnings, major change. So yeah, your friend is looking for a major change after this life-changing event. So, or maybe you are going through something that you need a major life-changing event to kind of help you, and yeah. So that could also represent towards you. Let's see what the next one is. Okay, so the Two of Pentacles will represent, oh, it's reversed, what to do in the situation. Two of Pentacles, you or your friend appear to be skilled at multitasking, but maybe you're putting up a front. Maybe you or him pretend that everything is okay. You've got this. You can handle whatever obstacles that are in your way or your path, and you're kind of putting up that facade that you're strong and you could do this by yourself and that sort of thing. Well, that's coming up. And this card tells me that, yeah, sometimes it is okay to do that. Sometimes it is okay to kind of like just deal with it and move on. But this is not one of those times that you should be doing that. I pulled another card that your friend is going to be needing your help for communicating and getting his emotions out. I think that was let's see which card that was. It was one of the last cards. This one. So your friend is needing somebody to kind of talk to him and help him, right? So this is another card that brings that up, that you can be good at juggling your emotions and finances. You're really good at multitasking, or maybe he is, but sometimes you do need to ask for help. Juggling multiple things. Don't lose sight of other circumstances. Create a balance. Don't take on more than you could handle. Seek help. So yeah, if you're having trouble, or if he's having trouble juggling finances, or if emotionally, if he feels like he can't cope, this is the time to seek help, either financially or emotionally, talking to somebody. This is the time. This is what needs to be done, is seeking help. You can't do it all the time. You can't do it all by yourself all the time. Sometimes you just have to admit that, yeah, I need help. If depression or anxiety is hindering his well-being, then yeah, it's time to kind of suck up and ask for help. And it doesn't mean that you are less strong or you're not capable, because you are, obviously, or he is, but you can't be afraid, basically, that life and death is inevitable. Everybody goes through it. We're all eventually going to die eventually, and you can't always deal with it by yourself. You're going to drive yourself crazy. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go on the next card. Okay, so this would be an outcome card. This isn't... So the outcome, I did get another card for it, so I will go ahead and read what I got for that. But this is the Strength card reversed. Again, reverse cards could mean opposite, or it could reflect other people or how you should be. So usually the Strength card represents perseverance, strength, you know, literally strength, having the strength or courage to face what you need to do to get through the day and that sort of thing. So since it's reversed, somebody is breaking down and needs strength. Let me go ahead and read my notes. Weakness, lack of self-control, or lack of confidence. There's a cowardness. So somebody is, again, not having the strength to actually ask for help. Not willing to accept circumstances, restraint, reserving power, strength for when needed, letting go. I don't know if you or him is having issues letting go of something. Courage, fortitude. So yeah, those are all things that come up in that card. Okay, so the other card that came up with that, so the outcome, taking a break. This is the Four of Swords. This is actually one of my favorite cards. Whenever you're having a bad day and you kind of need time to take care of yourself, basically. You are always doing stuff for other people. Either you or him is always constantly doing this and that, and always having not enough time to actually focus on you and your needs. This card tells you that you need to take a break and let go and actually focus on you. Whether that be meditation or health or what have you. If it's representing you going and getting your nails done, pampering yourself, not caring what other people think, that's what this card represents. So let me go ahead and read my notes. Taking a break can indicate someone in hospital or recovering from illness or retreat. Meditation. Proceed with caution. Progress will occur in small increments. You are searching for something. Need time to heal. So yeah, you can't heal a wound. Say you get a cut and it's dirty and infected. You need time to actually literally clean that out, clean the wound out, and have time to heal. You can't just keep putting band-aids over it and not cleaning it out. This card represents that need to actually take the time to mourn and heal. And so yeah, that would be the outcome, that if either you or him continue to keep going, you're gonna need this time to actually get all that emotion and issues out and focus on you or himself. So at the end of my readings, I usually do clarification cards. Clarification cards are a summary of about everything that's going on, my general feeling about what all the cards mean. And it's funny because that card and this card came up. So these two cards were originally my clarification cards, but when I was doing the reading, they kind of slid all over. It's usually a horseshoe. It's shaped like a horseshoe. Each card is kind of going in a horseshoe or a rainbow. And these cards I put down below, and what they were doing were sliding back and forth to where the other readings were. So these ones were originally my clarification cards, so I'm going to go ahead and read them again. So the clarification card for the first one, Page of Pentacles. Now, since it's a clarification card, it could literally mean up or down. So Page of Pentacles reversed or regular. Wealth doesn't buy happiness. Careful where you're putting your money. Paying attention to the pennies if you're trying to communicate, or if he's trying to communicate with the spirit world. Pay attention to signs. Now, literally, it does not have to be pennies or feathers or whatever. If you are trying to communicate with the spirit world, just clear your head and go with your gut instinct. That's what I do. If I'm trying to have a conversation with spirit, I clear my head, do some grounding, and then whatever literally pops into my head first, that's what I go with. I go with my gut instinct, what my mind, it's not my mind. I feel like that's what spirit is communicating. Now, if that's you trying to communicate with spirit, I would highly suggest going with your gut instinct. You could also do what's called automatic writing, where you do the same process. You clear your mind, you do some grounding, and then instead of thinking about it, like with these notes, take a pen and a piece of paper and just write down the first things that come to mind. And you actually don't even have to think about it. Sometimes your hand literally just writes for itself. And that could also be the spirit trying to communicate with you. So the other clarification card was the Four of Swords. So again, you or him is going to need that time to mourn and process everything that you've been through or he's been through. And it's good to actually care and take time for yourself. It's healthy, and this is what will help both of you in the long run. You can't always be go, 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 go and not focus on yourself. Like I work a heavy, like my day job is really hard on my body physically. So this last weekend, I have medical issues or medical concerns that I've been putting off because I've just been trying to work and get it done, you know, and kind of biting my tongue and dealing with it. So I took the time I needed. That's what this card is all about, to feel healthy and sane. You can't just put things, especially medical issues. If you guys are having medical issues where you feel sick all the time, or if you're hurting all the time, you need to go to the doctor and figure out what's going on. So that's what comes up. And earlier, another card came up where it's talking about going to the hospital. So if you guys are having medical concerns, be diligent. Don't just put it off, because I know that money and stress, that's just an added stressor in my life. So I know that's an issue for most people. Medical expenses are freaking hella expensive, but you need to focus on your health. You need to focus on your happiness and seek the help that you guys need. I hope this has helped you. I hope I touched base on a few things that you were concerned with. Again, I'm sorry I didn't really ask. I usually ask what your concerns are, and I'm sorry this has taken so long for me to actually do your reading. Life is crazy and chaotic, especially with a 6-year-old. I'm sorry, that's not really an excuse. But I am here if you want to communicate, if you want to message me and let me know if any of this makes sense to you. If you want to, I know some things might be personal and you don't really want to talk about it. I understand. But if you don't mind, if you want to give me feedback about how the reading went, or if you had more questions or concerns, just let me know. But I hope this reading went well for you, and I hope everything's okay, and I will talk to you later. Bye.